Hello, back again to do another unboxing and review. Today I'm going to look at a new gaming headset. I got this from overseas. It comes from a company called Tronsmart. This is the Glary Alpha. This is the second headset I've gotten from Tronsmart. The first one was the original Glary, and apparently this one's supposed to be the updated model, the Glary Alpha. Alright, so this is a universal headset. It's supposed to work, it even says so down here, it's supposed to work for a PS4, an Xbox One, Mac, PC laptop, Switch, mobile phone, and we can just add in tablet and gaming PC, desktop, alright? Alright, so I'm just going to scroll this piece of paper in front of the camera here. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video. Also, these are what I got off of the website from which I purchased this. So, here it goes. Okay. Alright, so we're going to go and do around the box here. Okay, so most of these are pretty self-explanatory except this one here. It's a special type of band, I guess, for supporting the headset on your head, and we'll see that when we actually look at the item. But that's kind of different from other headsets. You can kind of see it there. You can see how those two are divided. Okay. And then here's that. And there we go, Glary Alpha. Okay. Alright, so overall impressions of the exterior packaging. It's standard for Tronsmart. Again, this is the second headset I bought from them, and the original Glary came in a box with the same kind of design language. We have a matte black background with a photo of the item, which is in a more reflective black, so therefore the item stands out from the background under the right light. And by the way, this is quite a bit of light in this room. Alright, so when you have that much light and you're as close to the box as the camera is to the box right now, it stands out pretty well. However, from a distance or under less light, it might just look like a black box with Glary Alpha written on it. Alright, talking about things that are written on it, everything on this box is written out in English, and even though this was imported from China, I believe these guys are based in Shenzhen, there's no Chinese on the box, so it's all in English. So it's very apparent where this is meant to be sold, at least when it's in this box that you see here. Alright, so as you may have noticed, I did not record me taking this out of the box, and there's a good reason for that. The box, except for the very front, which you've already seen, every other side of the box is bashed, smushed. It looks like someone kicked this thing across the room a couple times. So that's a good segue though to talk about internal packing. Now I know you're thinking enough with packaging already, but this is important as whether your item's going to even work when it gets to you. So I think we need to talk about that. Alright, so I'm going to show you this. This is a tray from some other item. It has nothing to do with these headphones, but it's a good example of how when you usually care about your item, you pack it in something similar to this. And not only does your item stay nice and secure so it doesn't rattle around, but also if something should drop on the top, this frame here takes the impact and your item is nice and safe inside. This, on the other hand, has no such. It's literally the item tossed in an anti-static bag. That's it. Alright? The bag isn't even secured. It's just, open at the top too. So, now, why am I making such a big deal about this? Is because had this item had protection more similar to the tray I showed you, there's a good chance the box wouldn't have ended up looking like an abused football. Alright? Alright, so included loose in the bag with the headphones came the instruction manual and this here. So let's look at the instruction manual first. So it looks like we have some pictures about how to hook it up to different devices. Looks like there's the inline controller, volume and all that good stuff. You got the specifications written out, and okay, and it also seems to be written in more than just one language. So yeah, but Yeah, okay, pictures, cool. Alright, now over here, this is the warranty card. And there's the information, I guess, if you need to take advantage of the warranty. Okay, so let's look at the main item. Alright, so I just tipped the bag over, and you can see that's how it came. I haven't altered it in any way. I did not remove any twisty ties or anything. Okay, so here it is. It's quite large. And again, it's just kind of up to you. Your first impression of taking it out is to unwind this rat nest of wires. Again, not doing much on the presentation front. And I mean, so far the item feels actually kind of like good, but again, first impressions kind of matter. And yeah, so okay, so once you get all that out of the way, we can actually look at the item here. So there's your microphone. The microphone does not come off, so it's always attached, but of course you can just move it out of the way, like so. Here's our LED. That, according to the box, it's going to light up in that ring there, and there's one on that side, of course. The cushions. So you can see they spring back quite quick. There's a good amount of padding here to give you an idea. Here's my thumb. So, yeah. Some deep cups there. Okay. A little bit of material over the inside. Okay. Talk about this here. Oh, I should probably tell you what this is made out of, right? Okay, so all of this here is plastic. You can probably even hear that. This up here, okay, I'm pretty sure what we have there is metal, and it's wrapped in this kind of rubber. This almost feels like, how would I describe it? Like insulation on a wire. So you can kind of deform it a little, but anyway, so we have metal covered with this. And all right, now we got to talk about this. So this here is the what they call, let me make sure I remember say it correctly, flying wing head beam. Okay, so as of course you've seen headphones before, but usually this is connected here, right? But this, instead, they opened it up and divide it in half, and then not only that, but you can see how these can pivot, right? And not only do they pivot this way, but they also have the ability to turn this way as well. Okay, so I assume the idea is that it's, yeah, you don't feel this on top of your head, because instead it's off to the sides. They say that they're supposed to make it enhance comfort. So talking about what's on the inside here, there is, you know, can you see it there? Yeah, so it's not exactly the same kind of leathery-like feeling material here, but it's more of like, it feels more like that padding that's on the inside of a backpack strap that you put over your shoulder. That's what this feels like. Okay. So far, I mean, I'm liking the way it feels. It's actually pretty light despite its size, because it's made almost entirely of ABS plastic. But I guess when your headset's this big, maybe that's not a bad thing to have it be somewhat lightweight. So now let's look at these here. So, of course, it's a wired headset. So here's your main wire. Comes down to this, which is actually, you can see here. So it's actually, there you go, Tronsmart there. And here's, okay, we have quite a bit of controls here. So this wheel here is a volume wheel. You have a switch for LED and a switch for mic. Okay, then that continues down to here. Now, actually I'm going to separate this for right now. Okay, so then it divides into those gold plated. So you have the 3.5 millimeter, right? And then of course the USB. Now, this USB, from what I understand, reading the back of the box, this is solely just to power that lights. So yeah, But if you were using your, we'll say your smartphone with this headset, you of course want to plug this in. You would just plug this into your 3.5 millimeter jack, if your smartphone still has one of those. Anyway, and that would be enough to power the device. But if you are planning on using this with a PC, you're going to need to use this as well, which comes included. So you can probably figure out how this works, but in case or not, I will demonstrate. So you go ahead and put the 3.5 millimeter into there, the female portion, and then that will cause it to break into two. And you can see they're different colors. So one will be plugged into your mic jack on the back of your tower, and this will of course go into the headset. So these appear to be gold plated as well, and they're color coded, which always helps. So I'm liking that. Alright, so then that's the device. Now let me go ahead and get this connected to my computer and take. Just to give you an idea of the size of these headphones. So the mouse there on the right is a Razer Death Adder Elite, and there's my full-size Moto Speed keyboard. So you can see they're quite large. Alright, so let's check out these lights. I got the monitor on so the camera can focus prior to me actually turning on the lights. And here we go, LEDs on. So there they are. There's that rainbow ring. Well, in this case it's more like a triangle, but anyway, so yes, but it's a lot more obvious than it was on the Glary original. That one, if you recall, had the LEDs kind of hidden behind like a grill, as where this has them sticking straight out the side of the cups. Okay. Oh, talk about the other. Here's the mic. You can see that has a red LED. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk more about this microphone. Earlier when I put up the specs for the microphone weren't included for whatever reason, so I'm going to put those specs right up here. Okay, now since we're on the topic of the microphone, let's have a listen to a short sample I took using it. This is a mic test for the Tronsmart Glary Alpha Gaming Headset. Alright, and now onto the lighting. So, the lighting is basically static. It is bright, it is an attention grabber, but there are no reaction to the music, so the lights don't flash in sequence with the music. The lights do not have any like effects like flash, breathe, strobe, chase, rainbow. Well, they are rainbow colored, but they don't, color shift or anything like that, okay? So, yeah, what you saw is exactly what you're going to get. Now, I wanted to also talk about the light on the microphone. So you saw it was red. Now, keep in mind that has absolutely nothing to do with the status of the microphone. Okay, so in some headsets, the mic will glow red if it's off, or maybe in some cases if it's on, or maybe it's a different color if it's off versus on. In this case, it being red means nothing. Okay, so now with that, let's go ahead and talk about how they sound, right? Yeah, kind of important. Okay, so they actually sound really good. I'm actually quite surprised. So I will say that these do not have 7.1 surround sound. Now on the original Glaries, I believe they actually did have 7.1. These do not, so just be aware of that. And I did try to see if I could get the software from the original Glary to work with these, right? So perhaps these really did have surround sound, and they didn't list it. But no, when I used the software, it just said device not connected. So all right, so you will not get that on these. When I put these on, I watched a movie, I played some games, and just listened to some music, and the sound was nice and clear. They had some deep bass, and actually, due to these big cups, it almost seems like the sound kind of gets trapped in that big area, so sound seems to kind of linger in the cup. I'm sure audiophiles, there might be an actual term for that. I'm sorry, I don't know it, but I think you get the idea. So, okay, so they sound good. And I also wanted to talk about the comfort. And actually, that's probably the takeaway for these. And what that comes down to is, as you can imagine, when you put your head in here, the top of your head is going to end up coming up, or at least on mine, it came all the way almost to the point where my top of my head was touching this bar, but it got stopped a little short. And that's because these guys here grab the side of my head and stop my head from going up any further. And because of that, it gives you this impression that these are kind of like floating on your head. It feels like when you put on a pair of headphones, like for example, if this was solid across, you know that feeling right before this touches the top of your head? That's what it feels like, but it feels that way all the time. So they do really kind of have that floaty feeling. So very comfortable. I'd probably say these are the most comfortable headphones I've worn. So, all right. And so now let's get to the conclusion. Would I recommend these or not? So this is where the price is going to come into play. Now, of course, the price depends on who you get it from and where you get it from. However, I've seen these listed as high as $60. I probably wouldn't pay that much, not because they're not, I don't think that they could be worth it. It's just because at $60 you're getting close to other brands, you know, that you probably have a little more familiarity with, like Razer, or you pick your favorite brand, all right? So, but anything under that, and I think that these are a pretty good deal. So, and I think these would be really good, especially if you bought them in bulk. If you have like a LAN cafe, you could, you know, maybe afford to, especially if you buy in bulk, you could probably put these at every station. And I think the people that come to play would put these on and they wouldn't be wanting. I think that they'd be like, yeah, these are pretty good headsets, you know? Yeah, I think they're, yeah, I'm actually pretty surprised. But definitely, comfort here is the take-home message on these.